Guys, we are doing more math problems here. I'm so excited because this is really going to help with the GED or the HiSET test. Now, if you're new here, click subscribe because I have so many math videos as well as all the other subjects to help you on your GED or your HiSET. And I have a huge favor. I want you to share this video with either a student that's working on their GED or HiSET, or even better, share this video with a teacher who can refer other students to watch this video because it really helps so many students. I refer my students to these videos all the time. Okay, let's get started. Question 11. It takes 1 bag of chocolate chips to make 72 cookies. How many bags does it take to make 18 dozen cookies? Okay, so first thing we have to do is we have to figure out how many cookies are we making with 18 dozen, right? So 18 times 12, because 12 is a dozen, right? So 18 times 12 is 216. So now what I'm gonna do is just a ratio. So part over whole equals part over whole. So I'm going to say 1 bag or 72 cookies for 1 bag of chocolate chips equals 216 cookies over X, or how many bags there. So what I'm going to do is I will take, this is cross multiplying, so I'm going to take 216, divide that by 72, and I get 3. So it takes 3 bags of chocolate chips to make 216 cookies. Okay, are you the type of person that likes more chocolate chips in your chocolate chip cookies, a normal amount of chocolate chips, or less chocolate chips? Now, I guess I'm the type of person, I don't think I put the full amount. You know, it says 2 cups or the whole bag. I don't put that many in. I probably put in maybe a cup and a half instead of the full 2 cups. But I love making chocolate chip cookies. It's probably one of my favorite things to bake. Okay, question number 12. So this question here deals with statistics. And within my membership, I do have an entire statistics section where we go over problems like this and many more problems like this to practice up a little bit more. Each time a coin is flipped, it has a 50% chance of landing on heads and a 50% chance landing on tails. The coin will be flipped 3 times. What is the probability it will land on tails all 3 times? Okay, so the first chance it's going to land on tails, we have 1 chance over 2 possible outcomes, right? So 1 over 2. So that's the first time. And then the second time is going to be the same thing, right? Because it doesn't matter if you flip it one way the first time, the next time doesn't depend upon how it landed that first time, right? It's 50-50 chance. So the first time, the second time, and the third time. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to multiply all of these together. And when we're multiplying fractions, we just go straight across. So 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 2 is 4. So this here is 4, and then we're going to go 4 times 2, which is 8. So my answer is A, 1 over 8 chances that it will land on tails all 3 times. Question number 13. An electronics store offers to finance the purchase of any single item with 0 interest for 1 year with a down payment of $60. So let's go down payment equals 60. The rest of the purchase will be split evenly into 4 quarterly payments. So we have here 4 payments. Which of the following equation represents the relationship between the amount, $A, of quarterly payments and the purchase price, $S, of an item under this offer? Okay, so what we're really doing is we're wanting to find the $A, right? So we're going to have here A. Now, what we have here, S, is how much it costs, right? So we're going to take our S and we're going to subtract $60, right? Because we have that down payment of $60. And then what we're going to do is we're going to divide it by 4 because we have 4 payments. So if we were to take an actual number, let's say the number is 100, okay? So let's say we have here, it's $100, and then I pay the down payment of $60, and I divide all of that by 4. So I would go 100 minus 60 is 40, so that's how much I owe left. Divide that by 4, and each of my payments would be $10. sometimes it's a little bit easier to go through and make up a problem that goes with this, because when they just have the numbers in here, or I guess, no, the letters, sometimes I find it to be a little bit confusing. And in this case, by going through it, it helped me realize that, okay, yes, my answer is A. That's the one that makes more sense, okay? All right, now, friends, my recommendation to you is don't do this, okay? Save up and buy whatever electronic you're gonna buy in full and pay the full price, and you'll actually save money instead of having regular payments. Question 14, let g of x equal x squared minus 1. What is the average rate of change of the function from x equals 3 to x equals 6? Okay, so this is going to be a multi-step problem. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out the x equals 3. So when we have here this g of x, a lot of times that's just going to equal y. Okay, so we have y equals x squared minus 1 in two different ways. The reason they have the g of x is so we can actually put the x in and help us solve for that essentially y. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is we'll go with the x equals 3. So I'm going to go 3 squared minus 1. And so 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. So I have 9 minus 1, which is 8. So this equation now, we always have our equations x, y. X comes first in the alphabet, so that's how I remember x goes first. So my point is 3, 8, right there. Let's do the next one. So here we have x equals 6. So we're going to say 6 squared, and again, that's just this equation right here, 6 squared minus 1. So 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36 minus 1, which equals 35. So my point on this one is going to be 635. Now what I need to do is I need to figure out my rise over my run, okay? So rise over run is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's actually change colors here. So we're going to say here y2, so we're going to call this one the y2. So I have here 35, and then my x2 is right there, so that's actually where my 6 goes. So I have 35, and let's bring it to a different color to make this easier. And now I have my y1, so that's my 8, and my x1 is my 3. So now I have 35 minus 8 is 27, right? And then 6 minus 3 is just going to be 3. So now 27 divided by 3 is 9. So 9 is my answer. Question 15. Which expression gives the distance between point S and point T? Okay, so when I'm looking for something like this, can I just count those up? No, I can't. And so what I actually have to do is I have to use the Pythagorean theorem. And I have a video in the membership that deals with the Pythagorean theorem. So definitely make sure that you check it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn this into a right triangle. Okay, so there it is like that. And here's my right triangle. Okay, there's that 90 degrees. So the Pythagorean theorem is going to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, and so really what I'm looking for is the c. So I can figure out this point right here, s, the bottom point here, I can just add these up. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a 6 right there. And then 1, 2, 3, and 3 right there. So I have here 6 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. Okay, but I'm looking for the distance. So here, the c squared, to get rid of the c squared, what I could do is I could turn the rest of it into a square root. So I can take square root 6 squared plus 3 squared equals C. And there's my answer, B, okay? Now, usually we're actually going to solve for this. We're not just going to come up with, here's the question. But in this case, it just wants to know what formula would we ultimately be using. So Pythagorean theorem, definitely make sure you know it. It's not on the HiSET test, and I think it's on the GED test, but I don't remember. We made it to the end. Now, at the beginning, I asked you to share this video. Did you do it? Now's your chance. Share it with either a student or a teacher, because these videos help so many people get their GED or their HiSET, and you sharing it would just make my day. So thank you, friends, for being here. Believe in yourself, just like I believe in you.